Events today jeopardized diplomatic efforts when North Korean armor encountered a so-called self-healing minefield while attempting to withdraw from the area.
North Korean forces were adequately cautioned that self-healing minefields along the DMZ should not be considered cleared obstacles. We're back at the brink of war, and now we find out it is the Japanese?
The Japanese are allies.
I don't care if they're the Christmas elves. They sank the Walsh.
We don't know that their government was involved.
We know Admiral Otomo was involved, and we know where the gentleman is. We have to go in now, immediately.
The fact is, we don't know how far the conspiracy goes. If Otomo's actions are sanctioned by the Japanese government, then the only solution is military. But if he's acting alone...
Your man again?
He's already in position.
Send him in.
The State Department has lost contact with all of the U.S. officers who work at the Kokubo Sosho with the Japanese Self-Defense Force. It looks like the SDF have taken them prisoner, and they're refusing to answer our calls. In typical fashion, the Japanese are circling their wagons. Either they're afraid to admit they've lost control of Otomo, or they're actually sanctioning him. If that's the case, we'll have to come clean with North Korea, which will spark a massive war in Asia. If not, we need to find out what our officers know, and figure out what to do about Otomo before North Korea finds out what's going on.
Sam, even if the Japanese government is not sanctioning him, Otomo still clearly has the capacity to strike. If he's still in control of the information arm of the SDF, you'll need to deal with him very carefully. There's no telling what kind of havoc he could unleash.
Last contact we had with any U.S. personnel in the Kokubo Sosho was a fragment of a phone call from Major Harper, a logistics advisor to GSDF. From the sounds of the call, the room he was in was raided by Japanese troops and he was taken prisoner. It doesn't sound like anyone has been killed, and if there's any hope of maintaining peaceful relations with the Japanese, you're going to have to keep it that way.
Fisher, I can't stress this enough. If one Japanese soldier dies, we risk World War III. Any fatalities and I abort the mission immediately.
I understand.
Locate our officers and find out what the hell is going on there.
I'll find them.
Welcome to the 10th and final mission of this Splinter Cell Chaos Theory walkthrough. This mission is pretty straightforward when compared to the previous two. We're just waiting for these two guards to turn around and then we can go through this door. There's a camera up here on the right we just need to watch out for.
Did you hear the news? The rescue was successful.
You're kidding me.
No, that's Kalinka. He space walked over, tethered his capsule to the station, and brought back the other two levels, one at a time.
This duct leads into a bathroom. There's a guard in one of the stalls that we're going to knock out.
This is a bad.
Knocking him out makes getting across this lobby area a bit easier. There's another camera just on this corner. You need to approach this guard from his left if you're going to take him out. Otherwise he sets off an alarm. We need to stay in the shadows here because there's another guard up on the stairs. This computer has a door code that we're going to use a bit later on. We're going to climb this sculpture, but first we're going to knock this light out just to make sure the guard doesn't see us. There's the guard there. We're going to go into this duct up here. This takes us through to where the prisoners are.
Mr. Janpei, report to receiving. Mr. Janpei to receiving.
There's a guard in here talking to the prisoners. It's quite well lit, so we need to make sure that he starts walking away before we drop down.
You stay in this room and keep quiet.
We didn't say anything.
Keep it that way. I have orders not to shoot you, but I have orders not to let you escape. Let's not find out which order is more important.
We're not soldiers. We're just desk jockeys. We're perfectly comfortable here.
And no going to the bathroom.
Okay, fine. We can hold it.
Yes.
Humid.
Well.
We're just going to go around to avoid the camera that's in this room. And then I'm going to knock the two guards out that are outside. You need to be a bit careful when approaching these two prisoners, because if they hear you, they get spooked. There's the camera just over there.
All right, guys, what's going on here?
Thank God, an American, ready to go when you are.
Slow down, I'm not your babysitter. Tell me what you know and maybe somebody will come get you later.
Well, SDF rounded up all the U.S. personnel and locked us up. We saw some generals and ministers being brought in earlier.
Where did they go?
Into the war room in the sub-level.
The doors to the lower levels are sealed.
A captain was just up here looking for combat-ready volunteers to go down there. Maybe the doors are open now.
Thanks for the tip.
Sam, we need to record everything that happens in that meeting so we can present it to the Joint Chiefs.
It would speed things up if you'd let me remove some of the threats.
Forget it, Fisher. Until we know who the enemy is, there is no enemy. No enemy means no kills. Deal with it.
A reminder to all enlisted personnel, log in and out with your warrant officer after hours.
This is the guard we saw on the stairs earlier.
Keep it. What's wrong now?
There aren't any more guards now, so we can make our way down to the lower levels.
All personnel are reminded to shred unnecessary hard copies of all documents prior to incineration.
See? It made him stupid.
Did you get shocked with one key?
I told you, Tom is a sack of rice. Oh, sack of rice.
One of these 3 guards is going to come up here, the other 2 stay down the bottom patrolling. We turned the light out, so he's going to come up and make his way over to where the switches are.
Fisher, from the looks of it, these guards are LTL equipped.
Less than lethal. Why?
There's only one reason I can think of that they'd issue them to combat troops. They'll want to interrogate anyone they catch.
Well, I'm not the talkative type.
There's a camera here we need to be careful of. We're going to wait for this guard to come back.
Personnel are reminded to shred unnecessary hard copies of all documents prior to incineration.
Damn it! What is wrong with this?
Now we're going to wait for this second guard to patrol back round towards us.
Technician Sumaro, report to utility room. Technician Sumaro to utility room.
There are some steel doors you can just make out there that we need to get unlocked. We're going to follow this guard round. There's a retina scanner at the bottom of the steps that we're going to use him to open.
Retinal identification. Identification completed. A grey subcompact with license plate Shibuya 300-31-56 has been double parked. Please move your vehicle.
This is the door we got the key code off the computer from earlier. There's a camera the other side that we just need to make sure isn't looking directly this way. This computer unlocks the metal doors.
Just as we suspected.
That's a copy of the orders for the strike team sent to the bathhouse.
Yeah. Taneda was working directly for Otomo. It confirms Otomo's involvement with Shetland in the mass-enabled attacks. But we still need to discover if his actions are sanctioned by the government. Fisher, GPS shows you're nearing the war room. Intelligence says it's a Tempest-hardened cube. The only way you'll be able to record what's going on in there is to find some way inside.
Tempest hardening might keep out electronic intruders, but I'm betting the room isn't airtight.
Probably not.
We moved through there quite quickly just to make sure the camera wouldn't see us. There's a second guard that's going to come around that corner in a second. He walks very, very slowly. I'm going to disable this camera as a distraction to get the second guard to turn around.
Someone moving around out there? Who? I do not know who. That's why I'm worried. Nothing here. Never hurts to check.
Now we need to wait for Captain Slow to come back. There's a duct up here we can use to get into the control room.
Sam, I've got some details on the building's infrastructure. This vent should come out directly over the war room.
I'll try and laser mic the meeting from there.
Good. We'll let you know when we have enough to make the Joint Chiefs happy.
The line is secure. Yes, we're ready to connect. I can patch them through. Yes.
Gotcha.
Sir, here's Admiral Otomo.
Admiral, what is the meaning of this?
You will repeal the post-war constitution. You will order the immediate remilitarization of Japan and return control of our nation to the order of the Emperor. The United States will support this act politically and militarily to release themselves from further financial and military obligations, thereby concluding our relationship in Asia.
This is impossible. Even if we repeal the Constitution, the Emperor would never...
The Emperor will do what the military tells him! I am not an unreasonable man. These efforts will take time. I have faith in your honor and prudence. So I give you 96 hours.
96? The people will never allow it.
If in 4 days these demands are not met, I will initiate the launch of a North Korean ballistic missile and sacrifice a Japanese city of my choosing. Regrettably, this will kill millions, but it will steal the will of the people if your appeals cannot. For the sake of your honor and for the sake of Japan, I plead with you, do not force my hand in this matter.
That's it. He caught the signal.
My God.
Good God, Fisher. That confirms it. Otomo has been manipulating the Japanese government the entire time.
At least they're not sanctioning his actions. What's the next step? How do we stop Otomo?
If we're lucky, we might not have to.
What do you mean?
Grim?
I'm worried about that general, Fisher. He's been awfully quiet working on his laptop. Access it from here. Let's see what he's planning.
Will do.
I'm trying to reconnect. Ops, this is Central. We have your feed.
Affirmative. Ronan in position. Waiting for the word.
Ronan, you are go. I'll repeat, you are go.
Affirmative. Open it. Code's been changed. Hot. Fast. Come on, open the door. Just about. Got it. Back up. Pretty can clear. Go. Clear, clear, clear. We're in the tube. What's on fire in there, Roland? Affirmative. Form up. Keep it tight. Watch short angles.
Ronin! Ronin! Come in, Ronin! Oh, come in! Ronin! Up! Ronin is locked! We're done! The Admiral again, sir.
Admiral, we...
Fool! You waste your time to scheme like a dog. If you are unable to act honorably, then I will force you to act. You will not be able to deny the demands of the people. After North Korea destroys one of our cities, you will know which one when it is annihilated.
My God. We are doomed. We cannot do that. We cannot tell the Americans. It cannot fail. He has lost his mind.
Good Lord. Otomo is going to launch a North Korean missile at his own country.
What's the time frame?
Could be hours, could be minutes. Get down there and destroy his servers.
What about extraction?
If you can't take out those servers before Otomo forces a launch, there won't be any reason to extract.
And if I do take out the servers?
We'll make that part up as we go.
That's half a plan if I've ever heard one.
I just got off the horn with the Joint Chiefs. I'm lifting the non-lethal mission parameter. Fifth freedom with everyone except Otomo.
You're kidding me.
We need to capture him alive. His profile is pretty clear. He won't lie to a war crimes tribunal in the face of the evidence. It would offend his sense of honor.
You need him to take responsibility so the rest of Japan is off the hook with North Korea.
Exactly. If Otomo dies, we're right back at square one. Bring him in breathing.
This elevator takes us deep down under the ocean.
Fools! They're sending another assault team! Cut the power to the elevators!
Be careful not to fall here.
Fisher, North Korea just contacted NORAD and the President. They report that they've lost control of a launch facility. They can't abort and they're not sure that they can destroy the missile on time.
How long?
They say 3 minutes until it's away.
I think I can reach the server in time.
Hurry up!
We just need to wait for these guys to start moving. Then we can follow along behind. There are wall mines here, so we need to move as slow as possible. Next we have lasers that we need to avoid. We need to head to the right as soon as we get through this door. Otherwise we'll get ambushed by some special ops guys that are waiting for us. We're going to sneak around behind them.
Good thinking, Fisher.
Any line on what's going on in this place can only help.
Absolutely.
We just placed explosive charges on the server. Now we need to move out of the way before we detonate them.
They say 60 seconds until it's away. Thank God, Fisher. That aborted the launch.
Yeah, but I think it woke up the neighbors.
Get through them, Fisher. Then bring in Otomo alive.
My pleasure.
So this duct allows us to bypass these guys again.
What have you done, American?
Give it up, Admiral. It's over.
You think that I will surrender to you? You think that I will allow your people to strip me of my dignity? Throw me in chains? No, I think not. My people have endured your charming oppression for more than 60 years.
You say tomato.
Americans, always turning to their jokes when their hearts are full of fear. And you should be afraid. I may be defeated, but I am a man, and ideas are stronger than men. You may even prevent this war, American, but the dragon has awoken, and he will not be so easily sedated this time.
Now what?
I think someone is taking himself a bit too seriously.
We can't afford to let him die, Fisher. Get in there and stabilize him. Fast.
We're virtually at the end now. We just need to drop down into this hole here and crawl our way through into that room.
Good work, Fisher. He's stable, but we still have to get him out of there. You're going to have to blast your way out.
We're over 100 feet underwater.
You're not pressurized, Fisher. It will be a shock, but you won't get the bends.
Next time, you're going on the mission and I'm making up the crazy plan.
We just need to make sure we move far enough away from the window once we place the charges.
Admiral Otomo, former head of the Japanese Information Self-Defense Force, made a surprise confession today on the witness stand at the Hague War Crimes trial. Otomo openly admitted conspiring to instigate war between the Koreas and the United States, claiming that In other news, China's ambassador to the United States, Long Dan, received the Nobel Peace Prize today for his efforts in diffusing the Korean conflict. President Bowers today addressed the nation following the crisis that brought us to the brink of war.
Finally, I want to take a moment to thank those unsung heroes in the intelligence community who may very well have saved our nation and the world from certain disasters.
Thank you, Mr. President.
The boss seems happy. How about that raise?
They're cutting us back. You'll have to settle for a vacation.
Yeah, right.
So we completed all objectives. And we received a 100% rating on the final mission. And so our overall score is 100%. Which brings us to the end of this Splinter Cell Chaos Theory walkthrough on expert difficulty. Please add any comments below and share and like this video.